G'day viewers, the Lazy Train game has had an update. As usual, I read this article to you to improve the accessibility of the information for those who can't or won't go and read it for themselves. Or maybe you just like my voice. For the trains, you can now have multiple trains running. Many people have asked for this, and it's something I've wanted to add for a long time. Actually, the code for this was already in the game, but I needed to work out some issues with it. You might have experienced this since there was a bug that allowed the trains to spawn on load if you had additional stations placed. As a pacing solution, train stations now cost more with each additional station purchased. It is a fun little game, this one. Good to see it being updated. Camera improvements. When placing tracks or props, the camera no longer rotates, keeping the object centered. Instead, the camera rotation is locked, so you can freely replace the track or prop. A toggle is now available in the options menu that will allow the camera to move in the direction it's pointing instead of maintaining its height while moving. For instance, if you point the camera straight down and press forward, it will go down towards the ground. By default, it will not go down, but it will go in the horizontal direction it's pointing. Living room preview. There's a game preview of a new living room scene, warning the scene might change significantly before the full release of the game. There's currently no golden caboose in this scene, therefore no way to complete it. So it's kind of interesting idea of putting a game actually inside someone's living room. Looks like there's 3 pictures here. Oh yeah. So it's getting a little bit more like Rolling Line, for example. Cool. UI improvements. Pressing the escape key will back out of actions and menus as expected. For instance, previously, if you had a track that you were placing and hit escape key to drop it, the main menu would show. Now it will cancel placing that track. If you press escape again, it will open the main menu. Resource amounts now show with their maximum amounts. Previously, they would only show how much you had stored, but not how much you could store in total. Lots of bug fixes. I don't want to write anything more than that, but the release notes are below if you'd like to see what's been fixed, and of course we will. Lazy Train game will be released in early access. Many of the improvements in this release, and in many releases past, are thanks to the feedback of the community. Over the last few months, I have been more and more convinced that this game is a perfect fit for early access, so I've decided to release the game in early access at some point early next year. That's good news, people will be able to get into it. Release notes, version 060. Like a tank engine. Multiple trains now spawn in and out based on their station. Camera no longer rotates when placing items, making it easier to place items. Storage totals now show at the top of the screen. Split tracks are now named switch tracks. They should probably be named points, just saying. Created an additional camera movement mode to the options menu. In this option, the camera always moves in the direction it is pointing when in free camera mode. The escape key now handles edit tracks, panels, then main menu instead of going straight to the menu. Fixed a bug where the train station couldn't be removed when loading back into the scene. Added messaging and graphical updates when collecting the golden caboose, not reachable in the demo. Added an in-development living room scenario, not available in the demo. Moved sellers under their own filter. Added an objective for multiple trains running. Placing additional stations now increases the cost per station. Implemented a global crash logger in order to help find and fix bugs, fixed a loading crash bug, fixed the message displayed when coloured attachments don't match, fixed coloured attachments to not allow looking to be connected, removed golden resets and added a scenario completion unlocking instead. The train is no longer reassigned to the station it runs over, fixes an infinite crash respawn bug when using multiple trains. An exception during loading now blocks saving and locks the exception remotely. Fixed a bug where the seller tutorial could pop up while placing tracks. Updated the structure of save data, added a user data file. Multiple train crashing now works. Goody, Gomez Adams time. Pause is now per level instead of per user. Fixed a bug where the seller would get stuck if the attribute was upgraded to the number of resources stored in it. Made the stone train car have something that looks more like stones. Added a freight train horn, updated the project Godot 4.5, fixed the track collection objective bug where it would reverse completion if a track was removed. I just realised you can't see my head. What's going on there? Okay, there I am. That's better. Separated out the WASD tutorial messages into individual keys, switched Q and E keys to match other Program 3D nav views, added a tutorial for up and down, fixed an incorrect tween delay when the timescale was not 1, increased the update frequency for resource amount increases, fixed max resource number not updating when placing or removing a storage track, fixed a bug where the last storage was removed, it would still show the previous amount at the top, cleaned up the profile and tracks panels, the mouse only centers upon placeable instantiation if a use button is pressed. Pressing escape now first removes the current active track placement, then opens the main menu, made the not available in demo panel to be less harsh, added a raycast check for camera movement so the camera won't go through walls, made scenarios visible to players, cleaned up the layout of the options menu, option sliders no longer scrollable with the middle mouse, and yes, I read that in the wrong order. Oh dear. Performance improvement for connecting attachments when a lot of tracks are in the scene, added a full screen toggle and windowed sizing adjustments, improved the performance for adding and removing train tracks and other bug fixes. Well, there you go. So it's quite an interesting little game, this one. It's one that you look at and you think, I couldn't play that for very long. And I thought that, and many, many hours later I thought, yeah, I can. Definitely. Alrighty. That's it for this one. Enjoy yourselves. Lazy Train game. I shall try and remember to put a link to the video where I played this thing, and you can have a bit of a look and see what it's like before you dive in and check it out. Alrighty, have fun folks, enjoy yourselves, and as always, got any questions, chuck them down below. Bye.
We played a game.